Hello everyone, it has been such a long time since I've done a video. And you're probably thinking, am I still alive? The answer is yes, of course. However, with that being said, I have been making a bunch of strides in my life, and it's been a really awesome few months. And I'm finally ready to reveal what's been going on. If you follow me on Twitter or other social media platforms, you may already have some kind of idea. You may already know that I have switched industries from being more of a tech person to being a finance person. And that is for a variety of reasons, but primarily because I didn't see tech as my true passion. Yes, I did a bunch of coding tutorials on this channel, and yes, I did a bunch of other tech-related videos, but it just really wasn't what I was passionate about. Over the last few months, and especially about, since April of last year, I'd say, I've been exploring the finance realm. How did this all come about? Why has this happened all of a sudden? Well, ever since I was young, finance has been ingrained in me from a very young age. You see, whenever I rode in the car with my dad, he would always have Dave Ramsey on the radio, and ask me a bunch of different questions. And of course, if you don't know who Dave Ramsey is, he is one of the most influential financial people today. He has a radio show, and he basically helps people with their financial problems. He has this whole thing called Financial Peace University, and he has this whole Ramsey empire. Long story short, my dad loves Dave Ramsey because they have similar ideologies and views. And you see, whenever we were in the car, like I said, he would ask me different questions. He would ask me questions about things in relation to how the person was in trouble and what kind of strategies would I use to help them. For example, if someone was in a bunch of debt, how could I help them? At first, I was wondering why he was asking me these questions. I'm not being trained as a financial advisor, am I? Or maybe he was preparing me for the real world, when I would have to make these decisions on my own. At this point, I didn't really know. My family was really responsible with their finances, so I assumed that they were ingraining that from a young age. And, it kind of really goes full circle, right? Because you think you want to do one thing, and then you realize that something else is your passion. And it's really about trying to explore yourself. When I moved to Texas, I'm like, I love tech, but I don't know if I love it as much as I thought I did. And then I realized that I had this other interest for finance. So how did I act on my financial passion, you may ask? Well, I decided that I was going to take a leap of faith. I was going to take a leap of faith and become QuickBooks Pro Certified. QuickBooks, as you guys know, is the most commonly used accounting software for small businesses. And they have an advisor certification where you can get certified as a QuickBooks Pro advisor in a way that you can help your clients to be able to use QuickBooks effectively, and it kind of demonstrates your competencies with QuickBooks. I went ahead and did all the training material in about 3 days, and I couldn't stop studying it. I loved it. I was learning everything about QuickBooks, and I've used QuickBooks in the past for my own businesses, but I've really never dove into it. And man, I was getting into it. I was learning about reconciliations, and I was doing some checking account reconciliations and some credit card reconciliations, and I was learning about payroll and contractors and tax forms, and oh my, it was awesome. So after I got my QuickBooks Pro certification, I went ahead and I did a lot of practice. I did, in fact, a lot of practice. So much practice, in fact, that I kind of waited for a while to open up my new business, which I'll talk about in a second. But I practiced on my own books because as a QuickBooks Pro advisor, I get QuickBooks Online Advanced, which is the most up-to-date and best version of QuickBooks they have, since I'm an accountant in their system. And so I was able to practice with my own books. I was entering in my own transactions, I was putting in categories, and making sure that I'd be ready for tax time. And of course, I was like, oh yeah, I love this. And then I started to help my boyfriend, Michael, with his taxes for his business and getting him ready for tax time as well. and I absolutely loved it. And then the next thing went around is it was tax time. And Michael hates taxes. He really, really hates them. So he's like, Taylor, do my taxes for me. I was kind of nervous, but I was like, sure, I'll do your taxes. I'll just use TurboTax because that's what I used prior, and I got the live expert help to make sure that I was able to do it properly and make sure I got the right deductions because I was living in Michigan for part of the year and then Texas for part of the year. I had W-2s, I had 1099s, multiple varieties. And so I wanted to make sure I had everything right. So I went ahead and used the live expert service where TurboTax connects you with a CPA, certified public accountant, or an EA, enrolled agent, and I was able to talk to my expert to ask them questions to make sure I could get the best tax advice that I could. Through that process, I asked them a ton of questions. I was probably the most inquisitive person they had all day. In fact, that's what they told me. I asked them questions such as, what was it like to work at TurboTax? How did you like advising clients? Were you trained by Intuit? I just asked a lot of questions because I was interested in this field. I had so much fun doing Michael's taxes. It was great. And I also had fun doing my taxes. And for most people, they're like, oh my gosh, taxes are absolutely awful. I don't like taxes. They make me cringe. The problem is, though, I loved taxes. And I still love taxes. I absolutely love taxes. And while I don't like paying taxes, I like to help people save money on their taxes. So back to the deductions. I was talking with the expert, and I was able to help get myself a lot of deductions and not have to pay anything in taxes. And then when Michael's taxes came around, I went ahead and I got him deductions. Originally, when I put in his income from both his 1099s and his W-2, he was going to owe $5,790 of taxes. Now, previously, that's what he had owed before. I went ahead and he never actually did deductions before, so he never had write-offs. So thanks to everything that I knew about his business, I went ahead and wrote off everything I knew and all the expenses for his business, his MacBook Pro, and all of his other assets. I was able to get him an $147 refund from the IRS, y'all. Yes, $147. And of course, I did not do this illegally. In fact, the IRS sent him a notice saying that the taxes were so well done that it helped with some other obligations that he had in the prior. So that just really made me feel absolutely awesome. It made me feel so good because I was able to help someone, even if it was my boyfriend, help someone with their taxes. I was able to save them $5,790 of tax liabilities. So that really put the spark in my fire. I was feeling awesome. I loved it. I was like, yes, I'm on top of the world. I'm QuickBooks Pro certified. I just helped my boyfriend save a bunch of money on taxes. Oh, yeah. Then I wanted to go ahead and open up my business. And I went ahead and opened up Taylor Financial Services, LLC, based in the state of Texas. And I do bookkeeping, and I also do payroll and other financial tasks for small businesses. And I'm not a CPA or an EA yet. But the thing is that I'm a bookkeeper. So bookkeepers are not credentialed, they're not regulated, and they really help organize the company's transactions. That's kind of what a bookkeeper does. We organize the company's transactions so that they are ready for tax time. And in addition to that, bookkeepers can also do payroll and 1099 filings and W-2s and all that kind of fun stuff. So I'm super happy because I was able to get my first client and I'm helping her be able to be successful. Michael is in Houston at a conference, and I actually have the house completely to myself this weekend and for the next 2 weeks. And I just couldn't stop studying QuickBooks Payroll Certification because that's actually what I'm working on right now. I want to be certified in payroll because one of my clients needs me to do payroll for her employees. And I just love doing these QuickBooks Pro certifications. I just couldn't stop learning about payroll and tax deductions and all that kind of fun stuff. So the moral of the story is, y'all, that sometimes we grow and evolve. Sometimes we change, and sometimes life circumstances happen. But, the best thing to do is to help improve yourself and figure out what your true passions are. And I think with all of the things that I've been able to do, I've found my true passion in finance. You may be asking yourself, where is this channel headed? Am I just going to talk about finance? No. In fact, I've renamed my channel. It's not Tech with Tay anymore. It's Taylor Arndt. Taylor Arndt is my name. So I want it to be a representation of me, not of another brand, Tech with Tay. So therefore, I've renamed the channel, and the videos going forward are going to be about finance, business, what it's like for me to be a blind bookkeeper, and other life events. Maybe I'm going to be filming other events besides finance and business. So it's just going to kind of be a general channel with a niche in finance and business. And speaking of finance and business, if you guys are in Austin next week, Xero, which is the other accounting software besides QuickBooks, is having a roadshow next week, and I actually personally got invited to it. So I'm headed over there. It's at the Belmont on 6th Street on Friday the 18th. I'll put a link in the description, but I thought I'd just throw that out there for any of the Austin people. But y'all, I cannot be happier with where I'm headed. And I just want to thank everyone for supporting me and helping me to learn what I really enjoy. So, that's kind of what this video is going to be about. And I really hope you guys enjoyed this. Feel free to subscribe to the channel. Let's try to get up to 500. That'd be awesome. Have a great day, everyone, and we'll talk soon.